Hello everybody, it's Carly, Chief Executive of Driving Instructors Association, just with a quick update on financial matters for you today. Sorry we haven't done as many of these videos as people would have liked. Surprisingly, you have liked them. Just been a bit busy over the last few weeks doing some webinars on different subjects, getting some learning and CPD out there for our members for free, and some other stuff like the Key Worker Register. But I'm back now, and the main things I'm going to be talking to you about today, very, very briefly, because I'm going to send you an email to accompany this video if you're a member with lots of links to the information as well. It's a self-employment support scheme and also a new source of lending for small businesses, which some of you might find attractive if you're struggling for finances at this moment in time. So straight into it, I'm going to talk about really the main developments to self-employment income support scheme. I'm not going to go through in detail how the scheme works. We talked about that in other videos, and the email I send with this video will explain that a lot more, but it will also point you to other sources of advice on this scheme. So, self-employment support scheme, as we all know, is the grant that will be made to those who have lost earnings through the COVID-19 crisis, covering up to 80% of your trading profits. And it's based on your tax returns for 1 year, if you've only been trading for 1 year, or an average of 3 years. As again, all the information I'll send in the email that accompanies this will have advice on how the grants are calculated, how your eligibility is calculated, what could impact how much you get, all of those kind of things. So I'm not doing that detail here. The development that's happened in the last kind of 24 to 48 hours is government has launched an eligibility checker. This will allow you to go online and at least have the comfort of knowing whether you're eligible or not for these grants. What do you need to do the eligibility checker? Well, you're going to need a link, and I'm going to send that in the email that I send you as well. So click on that link, and the things you're going to need to have to hand. You are going to need your UTR, your unique tax reference. Now that is not your gateway login number, the 12-digit number. It is the shorter number, the UTR, that you'll find on a lot of your tax paperwork. So grab that. You're also going to need your national insurance number too. That's all you're going to need at this stage. You input that information into the eligibility checker, and it's going to confirm whether you are eligible for the loan, the grant or not, or whether you're not, and it'll explain why. If you're eligible, it's also going to give you a date from which your application will be processed from. So it's a lot more information than you've had up to date, and it's a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel in terms of knowing that you're going to get something and when you may be likely to get it as well. It won't tell you the amount at this moment in time. That will be done on your individual application. The other bit of good news on this is because this is now started to become a much more efficient process, and behind the scenes they are developing an online framework to be able to process the applications and distribute the grants. It means things got a little bit quicker than anticipated. So originally they talked about you not getting this money in your accounts until the 1st of June and beyond that. Now they're talking about the first applicants who are processed from the scheme could receive the money in their account as early as the 25th of May. So a little bit sooner than we anticipated. They reckon it will take 6 working days from everything being processed in terms of your application going in to you actually receiving the money in your bank account. So that's a little bit of a better story than we actually anticipated. The other important point that I want you to bear in mind when you go online and do this eligibility checker is to update your gateway information, your information the tax and the HMRC holds about you. It's your personal contact details that are going to be really important in this process. I suspect we're going to a wholly online service to distribute these grants. Don't necessarily expect somebody is going to be phoning you and talking through in detail. I think with the launch of this eligibility checker, it's a start of them introducing a framework that is online for you to apply for and receive your payment. So contact details like your phone number, your mobile phone number in particular, and your email will become important in this process, because I think when they confirm your eligibility, they'll give you a date from which your claim will be processed. And on that date, you'll start receiving information about how to go through the process. So get online today if you can, or very soon, and go through this eligibility checker process and update your details if you need to. The other important development for government for small businesses that has happened again in the last kind of 48 hours is government has announced the bounce back loan. We've previously had the business interruption loan, which is distributed mainly by local authorities. So if you're confused about where to access that particular loan, you need to perhaps talk to your local authority who are distributing that loan, or also check the information online. And I'll show you the website for which you can get all the government support for COVID-19. All the information is on a specific business support website that they've developed. But these particular loans are particularly interesting to the smallest of businesses in the UK, of which ADI driving schools, riding schools tend to be typical. You can get a loan between £2,000 and £50,000. What's attractive about it is the first 12 months of the loan are interest-free. That is very cheap jet, zero cost to that debt. After that first 12 months, you will only have to pay that back at a rate of 2.5%, and that is fixed for up to 6 years. So again, that's very cheap debt. You might not want to be, as Shakespeare says, never a lender nor a borrower be, but a lot of small businesses will frequently use debt facilities, particularly if they can access debt at such a cheap level, to either keep themselves going, but also to invest in themselves or be able to acquire things that will help them grow as a business as well. So these levels, it's interesting to look at accessing lending that has been specifically designed to help small businesses at this time. In that 6-year period, however, if you find that you are able to pay that loan back, the other attractive feature of it is there is no fee, no penalty to make an early repayment of the loan. Obviously, a lot of mortgage lending, business lending, there will often be a charge because they're losing your interest payment if you pay it back too early. But there is no charge for you paying back this loan of this nature. The other good and attractive thing about this particular source of lending for small businesses is it's unsecured. That can sound, if you're not as au fait with lending parlance, something that sounds quite dodgy. It just means that you do not have to provide any security for the loan. You don't have to secure the lending against things like your home or assets within your business. It's completely backed by the government and the banks as well. They've tried to make the loan as well as accessible as possible. It will be the high street lenders who are making the loan. So if you are a customer of one of the traditional high street lenders, HSBC, Lloyds, Barclays, all those kind of banks, that is where the loans are being distributed from. It is anticipated that a lot of these guys will insist on you being an existing customer to apply through them. But as most of you have probably got an account with the kind of big high street lenders as well, I don't think this will be a problem for most businesses. You don't have to have a separate business account to be able to access this loan, but you do have to obviously provide evidence that you're self-employed, have a business, and for which is the purpose of this loan, for example. So I thought I'd just highlight that to you guys. This is for sole traders and also for limited companies who I know have been very disappointed thus far that there's not been that much in the pot to help you guys out at this time. It may be that combined with a self-employment support scheme, universal credit, you can have this loan and still receive the self-employment support scheme and still apply for universal credit. It will give you that buffer to be able to carry on existing and also get back to work and start earning income at this time as well, and secure your business a little bit for the tricky period that even when we go back to work, we're still going to have a big degree of stability before we can get our businesses back to normal of any kind. So those are the two main things I wanted to talk to you about today. I'll include lots of links to lots of further information in my email as usual, but the main sources of accurate and expert advice at the moment are not ADI associations, I hasten to add. We happen to have a fairly financially literate team here from our background in financial services as well as driver training. We're a real combination of skills here. Not every ADI association has that benefit, and even we don't position ourselves as the utter expert. So I always try and point you on to better advisors than us. So as I said before, there's a government website that's been set up dedicated to what financial support small businesses can get at this time. That is www.businesssupport.co.uk. The other great source of advice, and I'm not on commission from them, but I do think they're an excellent site because they put everything in layman's terms and it's easy to navigate, moneysavingexpert.com. That's Martin Lewis's website, and they've also got lots of helpful videos on there about all of these topics. Another great impartial source of advice, government-backed, can give you advice on everything from lending to benefits and managing your money generally, is moneyadviceservice.org.uk. So we're also pointing people to those organisations for other sources of advice as well. But this is your time to take the time to have a look around all the information about all of these schemes and decide what is appropriate for you. Get on with looking at that eligibility checker and giving your details to that today to give you some line of sight on when you might actually be able to receive your grant. and I'll keep you updated as we go. I know there's lots of questions about other things, like when can I go back to work, when will testing resume. We'll do some more updates on those as soon as we receive them, and we'll keep you updated with any new developments as soon as we get them as well. In the meantime, keep sending us your emails and your phone calls to support@driving.org, and we'll keep on dealing with those. We've had hundreds and thousands of emails and calls, so that's perhaps why we're not always able to be on social media and everywhere else. We're dealing with all these individual queries, and we're doing these broadcasts, which we hope will help you as well. I hope to speak to you all soon. I know that it's going to be a very frustrating month in May, as we're caught between, having 2 months off nearly now, and looks like the end of the light at the end of the tunnel is coming into sight, but you don't know exactly when. Just stay safe, stay well in the meantime, and we hope to see you on the other side. Take care then. Bye-bye.